the blast one bull hose fitting procedure. First, you need to assemble the tools. You need a knife and a tape dispenser for handling the packaging, a cut-off tool, either a ratchet cutter or a battery-powered hose cutter. We need a long socket, 3/4 inch, a ratchet for driving it, and a torque wrench. We also need the Dixon P80 emulsion. It settles in the bottle, so you need to shake it before use, a spray bottle, and some coupling lock pins. And of course, we need the couplings themselves and the procedure for fitting them. Start by exposing both ends of the hose. Cut back a minimal amount of the packaging material because we still need to rewrap it at the end. First, we need to make sure that the end of the hose is square and clean cut and remove any damaged portion. Today I'm using a manual hose cutter. It's recommended to put a light spray of hose coupling fluid on the blade and on the hose itself, and simply cut it square. Next, place the clamp over the hose. Lightly lubricate the hose tail and the inside of the hose with lubricant. Do not lubricate the bolts. Bolts must be dry and free running to ensure correct torque. And then simply push the coupling into the hose. Next, we need to ensure that the coupling is fully inserted into the hose, that there is no gap between the metal of the coupling and the rubber of the hose. We then need to make sure that the clamp is correctly positioned. The claws should be approximately halfway between each side of the groove so that they're not going to catch on the shoulder, and turn it around so that a clear spot on the clamp, which is not where the claw is, not where the bolt is, aligns with the hole for the coupling lock pin. We then bring up the nuts and bolts as tight as we can by hand. It's recommended to use the socket in your hand to make it easier and faster, and it's important that they're done up evenly each side. Next, take your torque wrench and fit the long socket. Ensure the torque is correctly set. For this hose and clamp set, it needs to be set at 60 foot-pound, which we are confirming. Tighten the lock nut for the torque wrench. We then need to tighten the bolts evenly, and the recommendation is either one full turn, or as we're doing in this case, 4 quarter turns per side, and then swap to the other side, and it's 4 quarter turns again. Once you reach approximately the correct torque, we normally add another coupling to give some additional leverage, and one side at a time, continue to tighten until you hear the click of the torque wrench, and then on the other side, same thing. At that point, you can then fit the other end of the hose. Next, we need to inspect that the coupling is correctly fitted. This means that the entire body of the clamp is firmly on the rubber and there's no metal-to-metal contact. There's 3 areas we need to look at. First is that the back of the claw is not contacting the front of the ridge of the coupling. The technical gap required is 1/32 of an inch, which is easy to understand as approximately 1 millimetre of gap. The next is that the claw itself is not touching the metal of the coupling. The third point is that there is no metal-to-metal contact in the dovetails of the coupling on either side. Once you've done those 3 inspections, this hose can be put aside, and it's very important that it is re-torqued to the same torque settings after 1 hour. There's 3 additional things you need to know when fitting hose. The first is that claw clamps are not reusable. The coupling itself may be, if it's in good condition, but if this is taken off for any reason, it must be discarded, the bolts and the coupling, because they are designed to bend and conform to the shape of the hose. They must not be reused. The next is what is known as cold flow. Rubber can move away from under the clamp with pressure and time. To take up any gap that is created, it is recommended to re-torque the coupling every day for the first week of operation, and then at weekly intervals thereafter. The third thing is that all times, every single coupling in stock or on a machine has at least one coupling lock pin inserted, so that when someone goes to fit it, it's right there at hand ready for them to use. And lastly, we recommend that all bull hoses are used with additional restraint devices such as whip checks. For further information, please visit our website and look at the hose fitting requirements.